All right, so I feel like Diddy's lawyers looked at the long sheet of allegations that he's facing and said, listen, Diddy has not done all the crazy stuff that we all know that he's done. But on the off chance he actually did what we all know that he did, in 1991, the laws that y'all are trying to use to get him didn't even exist yet. They didn't even exist. So we're not saying that he did it, even though we all know that he did. But if he did it, it would have been fine because he was doing things that were so messed up that we didn't even have a precedent for it in law until recently. So it's just like, girl, y'all gonna have to get out my face.
You see it in my headlock. People, they know these niggas dreadlocks.
All right, y'all already know, as usual, the link to the article I will be reading is going to be in my description if you want to check it out in full. This is coming from the AP. Lawyers for Diddy pushed back against a woman's lawsuit that accused him of assault, filing a motion on Friday to dismiss some claims that were not under the law when the alleged incident occurred. The motion, filed in a New York court, claims Diddy cannot be sued because certain laws didn't even exist when Neil made the allegations against him in 1991. The music mogul's lawyers want certain statutes from Neil's claims, such as revenge porn, I'm just pronouncing it like that, child, because YouTube's crazy, and human trafficking, to be dismissed with prejudice. In a filing last year, she said Diddy intentionally drugged her and then brought her home and assaulted her after a date in Harlem when she was a 19-year-old college student. Without her knowledge, Diddy apparently videotaped the assault and later shared it with several friends in the music industry, the lawsuit alleges. Okay, there's one thing about like people who do all this crazy dirt in the industry, or in Hollywood in general. I'm just like, if y'all gonna do y'all dirt, whatever. It's horrible, it's disgusting, whatever. But I mean, I'm just like, do y'all really think that y'all are that invincible that you over here like sending your crimes to other people, sending videos of your crimes to other people in a group chat? It's just like, well, I mean, I guess people who have lived like that for their damn near their entire life, maybe they really would think, or maybe they really do think that they're invincible, so or untouchable. You know, if you got the cops and all this fucking money in your bag, you got these bitches, you controlling so much. Like, of course they might really think that they're invincible. So you just sending shit out. You just sending videos out, sending shit out in the group chat. That shit's crazy. And expecting for it not to be showing up as exhibit A, B, C, and D in the court of law is crazy to me. He denied the allegations, accusing her of seeking to exploit the New York law that temporarily extended the statute of limitations. My thing is, girl, she would not be able to take advantage of any law extended anything if your ass didn't do shit. If you didn't do shit, girl. What are you talking about? While Friday's motion seeks to dismiss the case on legal grounds, Diddy's attorneys, and of course Diddy himself, vehemently deny what they called numerous false, offensive, and salacious accusations. And it's like, okay, girl, we're gonna see about that. We go just salacious, unfounded, false. Like, okay. Real, okay. So Neil's claim came nearly 3 decades after his alleged misconduct, and the New York State revenge porn law was not codified until 2019, Diddy's lawyer said. His attorneys also pointed out a few others, including the New York Services for Victims of Human Trafficking law, which came into effect in 2007. Real quick, it also says the AP does not typically name people who say they have been, abused unless they come forward publicly, as Neil has done. So I'm gonna stop reading right here. Because I was like, okay, as thick and twisted as all of this is, I'm sure that some of these charges will be dropped. Like, it's crazy. I always thought that was such a, like, obviously we need for the whatever system of justice to be like innocent before, or innocent until proven guilty. Like, obviously we need that shit. But I'm just like, damn, I wish there were certain things where it's like, bitch, this shit is just too obvious, girl. Like, I mean, I know even that power would be abused as well, like if that was a thing, but it's just so crazy, and I can imagine extremely frustrating if you're the victim, right? To be sitting here watching these charges fall off just because this law was not put in place, or these laws were not put in place. So I did research. I was like, yeah, it's fucked up, but I'm sure that some of these charges will be dropped just because of the way that the law works. So of course, I looked it up, and this is what they said. The motion to dismiss is likely to be successful for the claims related to revenge porn and human trafficking, all that stuff, right? So specifically the charges related to those things, because those laws were not codified until 2019. Another one was not codified till 2007, respectively, right? So for those specific charges happening way back, decades and decades ago, they think, at least the research that I did, they're saying that, yeah, it's probably likely that those specific charges will be dropped. However, the core allegation of sexual assault may still proceed, as the lawsuit was filed under the New York Adult Survivors Act, which temporarily extended the statute of limitations. So yeah, if we're talking about just purely a legal standpoint, right? Purely a legal standpoint. If these things, these laws or whatever that they're trying to use to go after him were not codified until 2007, 2019, whatever, then, the prosecution doesn't really have a leg to stand on from a legal standpoint, legal argument standpoint, with those specific charges, right? But all the rest of the stuff, you know what I mean? All the rest of the stuff, that long list ain't gonna disappear. All the rest of the stuff can go through. So like I said, it's just so insane to me that this is where we are right now, and that this is how the legal system works, has to work, whatever, right? He can be sitting there plain as day, obvious as hell that he did some shit, but because of the time frame when these laws went into effect, when certain laws went into effect, there's no legal standing for some of the shit, right? But either way, so because they know how it looks, the lawyers are still trying to say, well, he didn't do none of this shit. He didn't do any of this shit at all. Like, just making sure you get that out the way. The lawyers are saying, well, he didn't do any of this at all, but, the things that they're coming after him for in this lawsuit, these laws didn't exist at the time of the allegations. So it's just like, we can't even, you can't even come after him with this in general. And so, like I said, from a legal standpoint, it's just like, well, you can't do, if the law didn't exist back then, we can't try him with that shit. But I just thought it was just funny in a bad way. You know what I mean? That, they're not arguing that he didn't do this shit. They're just like, girl, he might not have done it. We don't know. But in 1991, the precedent for the nasty shit that he was doing didn't even fucking exist yet. So, girl, y'all can try him with that shit. Y'all can't try him. I'm just like, girl, that is not something to be. That's not something to be proud of. That's not something to be proud of. But yeah, y'all, we just these cases, I feel like, are just gonna have wilder and wilder updates. So just stay tuned. We will be discussing them as they pop up on my timeline, because I'm like, girl, we got to get these weirdos out of here. I said it before, I said it again. It really sucks how much capitalism, abuse, greed, you know what I mean, exploitation, it sucks how much those things are involved in, like, Hollywood, music industry, art industries, in, like, you know what I mean, things that are supposed to just ignite people's creativity and, give birth to different genres of art and music. Like, it sucks that all this is involved in something as, like, something that's supposed to be as freeing as music and art and acting and all that shit. Like, it just sucks, but here we are. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
And that's why you can't take me, you hate me. I don't want your nigga, you crazy. That nigga too lazy. I need me a nigga who can tame me. Coming through and making niggas switch.